The homestand continues with the start of another interleague series. The Colorado Rockies taking on the Minnesota Twins in the first of three. You're used to seeing Joe Nathan close games. That was the plan for the 2010 season. Of course, Joe suffered the torn ligament in his elbow, went through the Tommy John surgery, so Joe Nathan's days are spent rehabbing from the surgery in March, hoping to get back in 2011. In the meantime, we're going to put him to work. Dick Kramer along with Bert Blyleven and Joe Nathan. You're used to seeing Joe at 10 o'clock. We're going to put you to work starting at 7 o'clock. Good to have you up in the booth.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm very excited to be here and watch a game from up in the booth. You guys got a great view, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Bert, we've got a matchup here between two teams that have both done very well in interleague play.
Well, you know, the Minnesota Twins, it always seems this time of the year they start taking off. And since 2006, you can see the Twins in interleague play. First best record in all of baseball since 2006 at 56-22. How have they done it? Very good pitching. And for the Colorado Rockies, hey, they've had good interleague record too, 44-25, and they're pitching as well as the Minnesota Twins, and some big hits out of that Rocky lineup.
And the Twins, who of course had to endure some injuries to some key players like J.J. Hardy, Joe Nathan, and Orlando Hudson, have kept Delman Young on the 7th spot in the batting order. Twins might be the only team to get 40 runs batted in from their 7th place hitter.
Well, absolutely. He's been outstanding. I think as of late, he's really getting comfortable now. He's starting to settle in. Confidence is just beaming off of him. I think the one thing now is he's starting to not press as much. You know, he came over with a lot of hype that he was going to do some stuff, and now he's starting to get comfortable, and he's driving the ball the way we expected him to.
Well, it's not much of a silver lining for you, but you're going to have an all-star break this year because of your injury. Joe Nathan usually representing the Twins in the all-star game. We expect Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau. We're going to be busy out in Anaheim during the break. We'll give you an update on the all-star balloting when we come back. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Anheuser-Busch. Want to go home with me tonight? I'm the designated driver. Budweiser. Responsibility matters.
What a beautiful night for baseball in downtown Minneapolis. We welcome you to Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North. I'm Robbie Mikowski. The 2010 Baseball All-Star Game in Anaheim, less than a month away. And fans, you could still help put your favorite Twins into the starting lineup in Anaheim by visiting twinsbaseball.com. Justin Morneau, he should be an absolute guarantee to get in. So should Joe Mauer. You can vote up to 25 times per day on twinsbaseball.com and send your favorite Twins there. Now let's take a look at the All-Star voting. Justin Morneau leads the way at first base, which is the way it should be. Joe Mauer leads the way at catcher. But look, help Delman Young get caught up in left field. Help Michael Kadire catch Ichiro in right. Orlando Hudson at second base. Twinsbaseball.com, up to 25 votes per day you are allowed to do. Send your favorite Twins to Anaheim. When we come back, it's that man, Carl Pavano, and that little mustache of his taking him out. First pitch next.
Under the direction of Mark Howarth.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we heard at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home
to a pretty good Atlanta Brave team. Michael Kadire, one of the 50 greatest Twins, honored throughout the pregame show, taking the field in right field. And the Rockies come to Minnesota with Jim Tracy, who was in his first full year as manager of the Colorado Rockies. And the Menards batting order for the Rockies. Carlos Gonzalez leading things off. Todd Helton's bounced around the batting order, hitting second tonight. Troy Tulowitzki back in the lineup. Jason Giambi, Ryan Spilborg, Seth Smith, Miguel Olivo, Ian Stewart, and Clint Barmas.
And the Chief Scouting report on Carl Pavano making his 13th start of the year. He's pitched deep into almost every game he has pitched so far. And 9 of his 12 starts, he's pitched at least 7 or more innings. And he's pitched actually better at night than he has during the day. In 5 night starts, he's 3-2 with a very good 2.68 ERA, and 7 day starts, an ERA at almost 5.
All right, right before first.
This is a night game.
Right before first pitch, Joe Nathan, where would you be right now if you were closing?
I'd be in the dugout right where they're leaning up against the fence right now, about to see the first pitch, and strike one.
Carlos Gonzalez off to a very good start. An all-star start for the Rockies. And Pavano hoping to get the Twins back in the left-hand column here tonight. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, Twins saw a little bit of Gonzalez when he was with the Oakland A's. He came over to Colorado a couple winters ago in the Matt Holliday trade. Carl Pavano, he's had some success against the Colorado Rockies. It's just he has not faced them since 2004.
3 pitches, Gonzalez retired, 1 away. Check out the Twins in the field. Again, they're patching things together with J.J. Hardy and Orlando Hudson both still on the disabled list. The outfield untouched. Delman Young in left, Denard Span back at center, Michael Canayer in right, and Justin Morneau, the lone fixture at first base. Joe Mauer behind the plate. And Nick Punto, who was the everyday third baseman, tonight is at short. Tolbert at second, and Danny Valencia getting the start at third. Ball 1 to Todd Helton.
One of the best hitters in the game of baseball right here, Joe.
I was going to say this is one guy that I actually probably got to face on this team. This is a very new look for Colorado, compared to when we've seen them, even when we faced them as the Twins in Colorado. Very new look for these guys, and Helton's one of the guys that have been around forever.
I mean, look at those career numbers right there. Always a very, very good hitter. Came up with the Rockies back in 1997. 5-time All-Star, 3-time Rolling Gold Glove winner. Won a batting title in 2000 when he hit .372.
A little pop fly, a foul ball near the tarp, and Valencia watches it drift back into the seats. He's off to a terrible start this year. They say in the last few games he's swung the bat a little bit better, but still not nearly the extra base power that we've seen from Helton.
Well, what Jim Tracy has done, you can see where he is on the active leaders list as far as, where his average is at 326, but he moved him up into that number 2 hole over the last 4 ball games, and he has responded. 7 hits in his last 16 at-bats.
Checked his swing, and he takes ball 2.
And Joe, you think sometimes, he was always a number 3 or number 4 hitter. You all of a sudden put him in that number 2 hole. Does that maybe take some of the pressure off of him?
I think so. I think in that spot, you can move some guys along and still have success doing that by a ground out to second, moving a guy to third. It gives you a good feeling and gives you some confidence maybe coming up in another, at bat.
Well, Pavano, you can see he's a guy that has to work both sides of the plate. He gets down the middle of the plate, he's going to get hurt.
Ground ball to second.
Right there.
Scooped up by Tolbert, 2 down. We think the weather has stabilized for the balance of this homestand. We've had some kind of unstable weather with some rain showers in many of the games here in this homestand, but it's cleared out, we think, for good. Should be beautiful tomorrow and hot and muggy on Thursday. So 2 down in the first. That'll bring up Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki, normally a slow starter, but he's off to one of his best starts. Held out of the lineup the last couple of games with a right groin strain.
Now the Colorado Rockies, coming from Colorado, where the last weekend they played against the Toronto Blue Jays and swept the Blue Jays. So they're currently on a 3-game winning streak.
And a drive to left. Tulowitzki hits it hard and hits it out. So a solo home run, the 9th home run of the year for Tulowitzki, and the Rockies get the first lead.
Well, again, Pavano, a pitcher that needs to work both sides of the plate and keep the ball down. And it looks like a pretty good pitch, Joe. We'll take a look at it right here where the pitch is.
Yeah, they, a lot of these young hitters now coming up have really learned to hit that low ball. We're taught as pitchers to keep the ball down in the zone. So the young hitters are coming up and they're being taught to hit the ball down in the zone and hit it and drive it out of the park. So, we have to make adjustments, change eye levels, and do the best we can to change speeds and eye levels with these guys.
You know what, Joe, and that's one thing we have seen from Carl Pavano. His first 2 or 3 innings, he's always kind of, he'll give up some runs, but as the game goes on, he gets better.
Absolutely. A guy that is a field pitcher, he changes speeds real well, comes inside, goes outside. He's one of those guys that as the game gets deeper, he's going to, settle in and feel his pitches a lot better. So, hopefully he can get out of these first couple innings and then get into a groove and get deep into a game.
It's tough for you as a pitcher, and Bert, we've talked about this on the air. If Pavano put that pitch where he wanted to, and you want to spend most of your night down around the knees, and you do up around the waist, how do you differentiate between, that was called third strike, a good hitter hitting a good pitch? That's the one consolation in a situation like that.
Sometimes you have to tip your hat. That's the hardest thing.
A home run for Tulowitzki, a couple of strikeouts for Pavano, and it's 1-0 Colorado. Gardenhire's Twins trying to come from behind here in the Menards batting order for the Twins in the opening game of the series. Denard Span leading off, Matt Tolbert hitting second, Joe Mauer third, Justin Morneau with great career numbers, albeit limited numbers against the Rockies, and Michael Cuddyer, Jason Kubel, Delman Young, Danny Valencia, and Nick Punto. And the Dodge Ram scouting report on Aaron Cook making his 13th start, just like Pavano. He last faced the Twins back in 2003. Ended up losing that ball game 7-4. And a guy that has struggled on the road so far in 7 starts on the road. He's 0-3 with a 6.81 earned run average. When Cook is on, he'll get a lot of ground ball outs. Good sinking fastball. One on the outside corner, one off the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Got Cook winless in his last 10 starts on the road. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven, joined tonight by Joe Nathan.
Yeah, that's weird too, because usually with pitchers at Colorado, normally they're going to struggle at home and get on the road and feel a lot more comfortable. So, it may show that they're definitely making adjustments out there with maybe that humidor with the balls and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean that's it. He's 2-0 in Coors Field with a 2.62 earned run average, and then the 0-3 on the road with a very high ERA. He's definitely a big game pitcher, though. He's pitched in some big games for these guys, and he's definitely poised for these starts. 1-2 to Span, and a bouncer. Nice stop by the former Gold Glove winner Helton, and he turns it into an out, one away.
Let's check out the Rockies in the field. Seth Smith in left field. Carlos Gonzalez in center. Ryan Spilborghs in right. Ian Stewart at third. Troy Tulowitzki at short. Barmes and Helton on the right side of the infield. And former Kansas City Royal Miguel Olivo.
Well, there's a difference right there, Joe. You can see, the 2-0 in Coors Field and then struggled on the road. But he's 1-0 over his last 7 decisions. He has 6 no decisions. So maybe he's been pitching good baseball. He just hasn't a lot to show for it.
Yeah, he's definitely keeping their team in the game and giving them a chance to win. That's all you can ask your starters.
Tolbert takes a strike to even the count 1-1. Tolbert getting the start at second base. The hope was that Orlando Hudson would be activated from the disabled list today, but Hudson is at least a couple days away. He took batting practice right-handed again today. Did not take batting practice left-handed, although they were going to give him some work in the cage left-handed to see how his wrist would respond to left-handed swings.
You mentioned you're down on the bench. My goodness, how do you stay away from that guy?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I think everybody that's on the bench is really hoping for him to get back in the lineup.
That is Jules chirping out second base.
I'll tell you, when Atlanta was in town, I think every pitcher that was on the mound for Atlanta was hoping Orlando was in the game because he was chirping from the dugout, I think.
Well, Derek Lowe said it went nonstop for the 7-8 innings he was out there. Hudson just kept jabbering away.
It was amazing. I was sitting there next to him. I was like, man, you do not stop. He's like, no, can't stop.
Who reminds me of a little bit of Mark Fidrich when Fidrich pitched for the Tigers. He would not stop, even though he was very on the mound. He was unbelievable talking to the baseball and stuff, but on the bench, my goodness, he would always clap and just be talking and moving around. They don't come around too often.
Here's Joe Mauer with Tolbert drawing a 1-out walk. As we move through this series, under the assumption Olivo will catch all 3 games, he's been very good in throwing out runners, and the Twins have kind of been stuck in neutral with their running game. Either the score dictating that the running game is kind of shut down, or left-handed pitchers, or a pitcher who holds runners real well. We don't expect the Twins to do a whole lot of running in this series with Olivo behind the plate.
15 of 30 so far, so we've thrown out half the potential base stealers. And look, you watch Aaron Cook right there utilize that slide step to try to get that ball and allow this guy to use that right arm. He's got a great arm behind the plate. Miguel Olivo.
1-1 to Mauer. And that's flared foul into the seats, 1-2.
Yeah, a lot of times, Joe, I'm sure when you have a catcher like Olivo that has a great arm, you put on the hit and run over than maybe just a straight steal.
Well, yeah, I think if a team's struggling with getting stolen bases or moving runners along, struggling with scoring runs, sometimes you got to force the issue and put on some hit and runs to create some holes and hopefully get some first and third situations.
Long look in from Cook to Olivo.
Yeah, Cook has a fastball, not an overpowering fastball, but good movement on that sinking fastball, about 86 to 91 miles an hour. He'll mix in a hard slider. He'll go down and in on left-handed hitters. Then we've seen that slow curveball already, and then the changeup.
Mauer takes down and in, and it's 2-2.
There's that slider down and in.
And this is a good guy to start some hit and runs and do things like that, because he does get a lot of ground balls when he is going well. So I think you got to feel him out, see where he's at in the ball game, see if he does have a good sinker going, and if he does, you might want to start moving some guys and hitting and running and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it always doesn't have to be 3-2 either. If there's a ball right here, then of course Tolbert's probably going to take off, but might want to send him here.
Tolbert stays put. Mauer hits the ground ball to short. On the bag, Tulowitzki over to first, and Cook gets his double play ball, and the Twins send just 3 men to the plate in the first. micro mustaches. Nevertheless, we thought we'd see what the rest of the rotation would look like with mustaches.
That's not a bad look right there. I think they should go for it.
How about Kevin Slowey? That's scary right there.
Honestly, I don't even know how they got that on him because I don't think he can grow one like that.
There's the leader of the pack right there, Rick Anderson.
Coach has one.
Well, the great thing is with Carl's is I don't even remember what he looked like before it. I think it's become one with him. And you know, obviously he likes it. He enjoys it. He's comfortable with it now.
Just off the outside corner. Well,
there you go.
You've had the goatee, but, you know, here's with the fuller mustache attitude.
Slowey said if I had a mustache with the thing, I'd look like a pirate. So I think he was right.
Two-hopper to Valencia. And Morneau has to step into foul territory for the catch, one away. And with Nathan Mustachio, of course, Bert's had some facial hair all along. So, oh my.
Oh, jeez.
You see, but you've had that. That's
natural.
Mine's just light now.
Yeah.
My goodness, look at that.
Maybe I should do that. You think
I hope not. Oh, ask Heidi. See if she'll allow it.
When I've done that, mainly in the off season, I've looked like Snidely Whiplash from was it Rocky and Bullwinkle or no? Yeah, Rocky and Bull. Dudley Do-Right, I think. Anyway, a lot of mustaches here. There's nothing wrong with having a mustache.
Not at all.
Seth Smith at the plate, and Pavano falls behind him 2-0. Well, the Rockies at the point of the season where they're really looking forward to making a move in the interleague part. They've done very well. They're the only National League team that's had a winning record in interleague play over the last several years.
Well, Seth Smith in his fourth season with the Rockies, good hitter, .290 career hitter coming into this year, playing in left field.
Pavano misses 3-1. He's been in kind of a platoon system in left field with Spilborg. Spilborg's playing in right. You guys were talking about the pitcher Cook at Coors Field and how that ballpark has dramatically changed. Here's a high fly to right center field. Kadire, and the gap makes the catch out. Number 2, Twins baseball brought to you in Sony High Definition. Now, so far, I think it's fair to say that this ballpark has been more of a pitcher's park than what we thought going in. We didn't have any preconceived notions, but I think it's favored pitchers more than hitters. Would you agree, Joe? Absolutely.
I think from gap to gap, especially, I think early on you saw some shots down the lines that definitely get out of here. You know, I think Cuddy's was probably the most remembered, pop-up he hit down the left field line that went out in the corner. But besides that, this park has definitely shown that you gotta square one up to get it out of here.
Well, Tulowitzki got that ball down, but he pulled the ball. He hits that ball, left center, right center, probably to stay in the ballpark.
Ground ball, a couple of fly balls to right, 9 pitches, and a clean second inning for Carl Pavano. 1,300 pounds and 10 feet tall. So don't jump the fence and get in the cage. Oh, now wait a minute.
I knew they'd find a woman with a mustache. I knew she was here.
Carl's bringing out the stashes.
Here's Justin Morneau with the Twins down a run, 1-0. And a fastball on the outside corner. It'll be Morneau, Kadire, and Kubel. Dick Bremer, Bert Blylev, and joined tonight by Twins' future closer, Joe Nathan. Chopper, right side, another ground ball. It's going to be a race to the bag, and Cook slides to the base. Morneau kind of goes in hands first, and a dangerous play for both the pitcher and the batter. And Morneau is retired.
Well, I think right here, Aaron Cook had a little vapor lock because he went after this ball, but then kind of slowed down, and it's kind of his responsibility. Okay, I can't get to it, but get to the bag. All of a sudden he does, and he's able to get the ball and then slide into the bag for the out right here.
Very difficult play. Much easier to get to the bag early. But sometimes you get caught in between, and that's an excellent job to slide, and probably didn't even know where the bag was when he was reaching.
Right.
Proving once again that pitchers are the greatest athletes on the team.
That's right. You're outnumbered up here now.
Well, that said, Cook needs about 5 minutes to catch his breath.
Oh, he had dirt on his hand.
Is that what it was?
Wipe off.
Okay. Here's Michael Kadire. And a pitch low, ball one. Anyway, the point we were making about Coors Field and how it has changed from what was literally a launching pad to now, if anything, a pitcher's ballpark, at least in terms of giving up home runs. The Rocky pitching staff, they played 31 games there this year, and the Rockies have given up just 20 home runs at home.
Yeah, now, they've given up the fewest home runs in all of baseball as a pitching staff. That's unbelievable.
In that ballpark.
Yeah.
All because of... Well, not all because of, but they started putting baseballs in the humidor, and immediately the baseballs were left in the ballpark instead of going out the other side.
Yeah, it definitely put some moisture on the baseballs, and not only hitting the baseball, I think it doesn't carry as much. I think the balls aren't as hard when they put them in there, but as a pitcher, I remember back before they had the humidor, and the balls almost were slick. It was almost like they had baby powder on them, and it was hard to get a grip on it to throw a big breaking ball. So if you were a big curveball guy, you tended to struggle in Colorado.
So you needed more pine tar then.
A lot more pine tar on your hands.
Well, is it any surprise then that here's Cook? He's the franchise leader in wins, 65 in 53, and he's a sinker baller. He doesn't have a big breaking ball like you were saying.
He's allowed only 4 home runs this year, 2 in Colorado, 2 on the road in 70 innings pitched. So he's done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark.
3-2 to Kadire trying to get aboard. Twins don't have a hit yet. They do have a walk that Tolbert took with 1 out in the first. Toward the hole. Tulowitzki with a great play and safe on a very close play at first. A great play by the Rocky shortstop, who ends up in foul territory out by the tarp.
Yeah, Tulowitzki, an outstanding athlete, especially at shortstop. He does the old Derek Jeter type of throw over there. I mean, it leaps right here, and Todd Helton on the other side tried to pull that foot a little bit on the quick side.
I was going to wonder if he called him safe because he pulled his foot a little early, or if he beat it.
I think he tried the old "I'm a veteran" and I can get that foot off the bag. But a great effort right there by Tulowitzki, and Kadire gets an infield base hit.
Here's Jason Kubel, and a good homestand for the Twins. We've got, as you know now, Joe, a great view up here. We are directly behind home plate. And I've been watching Jason throughout this homestand, and I asked him today, I said, is it my imagination, or are you closer to the plate? Look at his hands. They're over the inside corner right now. And he said, yes. He said he's in this homestand, he's consciously tried to get up on the plate a little bit in an attempt to pull the ball more. He said he got frustrated hitting the ball so hard to the other field for an out. He is consciously trying to get up on the plate and become more of a pull hitter.
You know, that's the one thing a lot of the guys that like to pull the ball. I mean, that's a great strategy for them to do. Get on the plate and you know, force pitchers to come inside to you.
To right center field, fairly deep, but he didn't pull it enough. To the edge of the track where Gonzalez hauls it in, 2 down.
Well, again, you can see how this new target field has really kind of frustrated some of these left-handed hitters or right-handers. If you can try to make them hit it to straightaway center. And Kumel got good wood on that sinker that kind of came right back over the plate, but he hit it to the deepest part of the field, and that's right center, left center.
And here's Delman Young. And as we said in the open, Young with a 3-run home run on Sunday now has 40 runs batted in. He's 3 behind Justin Morneau on the team. And with just a variation every once in a while, he's been hitting 7th in the Twins lineup. Bouncer right side, and it'll bleed through. Kadire around second, on his way to third. First and third for the Twins, and Valencia coming to the plate. There's an exciting online auction going on at twinsbaseball.com. The Twins Wives organization's calling it the Clubhouse Cleanout event. They put together great packages that include autographed and game-worn merchandise or the use of Jim Thomey's personal suite for a game in August. Go to twinsbaseball.com and click on the community tab and look at all the auction items and place your bid. Proceeds will benefit the Twins Wives organization and the Twins Community Fund.
Well, Delman Young with that base hit keeps his hitting streak alive, now at 11.
Good time for Valencia to get his first major league run batted in.
And I like keeping him in the 7 hole. You know, I'm always one to have a deep lineup, and you know, just because a guy's swinging a good bat doesn't mean you got to move him. It could mean he's comfortable where he is, and it gives us a threat, you know, at the bottom of the order. You know, you always look at the good lineups. You know, they're getting hits and guys driving in runs, not only in the top or the middle of the lineup, but also in the bottom part of the order.
Down and away, and it's 2-0.
Joe, I got to ask you this: with Cook, you know, out on mound and Valencia at the plate, they haven't faced each other before. You know, hitters look at tape and pitchers look at tape on the hitters. Who has the advantage in your opinion?
I think early on, you know, it's got to go to the pitcher, just because, you know, the hitter doesn't know his timing, doesn't know how his delivery is, hasn't seen a pitch from him. So early on, it normally goes to the pitcher. But having said that, you know, he also could see the ball great out of his hands right from pitch number 1. So, you know, that could turn once he sees a pitch. But right now, you have to say Cook, you know, has an advantage because he hasn't seen all his pitches.
Well, and then if you're a hitter like Valencia, if you get the count in your favor, then you say, okay, I'm going to sit on that fastball. He took right there that 2-0 fastball to take another look at it, maybe.
Yeah, that, and you know, you don't know how he likes to pitch. If he likes to pitch, you know, pitch a little backwards when he does get 2-0, does he go to off-speed pitches?
Chopper to short, and an easy play for the shortstop Tulowitzki. Twins get a couple of hits, leave 2 aboard. It's still 1-0. Text the word value followed by a space and the player's name to short code 234234. And the voting so far has Jason Kubel in front, Maurer there, Pavano there, Delman Young there.
Well, I would think Joe Nathan would be on there only because he's doing a great job up in the booth so far.
Very nice to have Joe Nathan up here.
I appreciate it. You guys are making me look good.
Ian Stewart. We set the bar pretty low, Joe. I'll tell you that. Stewart, Barmas, and Gonzalez. Rockies have some hitters struggling to get going. We're into the third month of the season. Here's a high fly to left. Delman Young steps over and back. One away here in the third.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Ian Stewart a little bit before the ball game because my son Todd once scouted for the Colorado Rockies, and he had the opportunity to sign Ian Stewart when he was a #1 pick by the Rockies back in 2003. A lot of potential in that left-handed hitter right there.
Here's the second baseman, Barmas. Ball one. Pavano's given up just the one hit, but it was a long hit. Tulowitzki's 9th home run of the year. And that has gotten us where we are. 1-0 Colorado. White Sox are tied with the Pirates. Nationals are tied with the Tigers midway through their games. 4-4 in each game.
You know, what the Rockies have been able to do is what the Twins have been able to do. On the 25-man roster right now for the Rockies, 16 have been signed by the Rockies. And on the Twins roster, 15 of the 25 guys have been signed by the Twins. So, you know, you sign guys like Ian Stewart as a #1 pick. You want him to come up through that system. Barmas, the same thing, number 10 pick by the Rockies.
He takes a 4-pitch walk from Pavano with 1 out. Father's Day is Sunday, and you can get Dad a great gift from a Twins Pro Shop or at the Majestic Athletic Twins Clubhouse store. Twins Pro Shops are located in Apple Valley, Roseville, and Minnetonka. Or if you'd like, stop by Target Field 7 days a week and shop at the Majestic Athletic Clubhouse store, which is right behind the right field foul pole here at Target Field. Carlos Gonzalez went down swinging on the 3rd pitch from Carl Pavano to start the ball game. Well, the Rockies very high on this young man. They think he's going to be their next great player. Power, speed, good defensive outfielder. And at the knee, strike one.
Yeah, a young man from Arizona, originally signed by the Arizona Diamondbacks out of Venezuela, just 24 years old. Again, we saw him with the Oakland A's in 2008. Do you remember facing him at all, Joe?
I do not. Like I said, I don't remember facing a lot of these guys except for the man standing on deck right now.
Tom Help. Yeah.
Well, the A's gave up Gonzalez and Houston Street to borrow Matt Holliday for a couple of months. And Holliday, of course, helped beat the Twins a couple of times in Oakland, but then he was dealt to the Cardinals, where he's become a very rich man. So ultimately, the A's will look at Gonzalez and Houston Street and compare them to the prospects they got from the Cardinals for Matt Holliday. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Good changeup right there by Pavano. Pavano's fastball can get in the low 90s, in a slider, then this changeup. This is his kind of even pitch, okay? I'll show you my fastball, but I'll get you out with this little off-speed changeup.
That's definitely something I want to learn from him, because that's one pitch that is very hard to get comfortable with, unless you could find a group that you like.
Joe Nathan, our guest in the booth here tonight. As you look forward to 2011, do you anticipate having to change as a pitcher?
I hope not. I think that's one thing I want to go out and first see where I'm at, see where everything stands when I do start pitching. But you know, I always try to adjust. I always try to learn some more things, and you know, anything I could do out there to keep hitters off balance. So you know, first and foremost, get everything else back to where it needs to be, and you know, along the way, you know, possibly fine-tune a sinker. Already have been talking with guys like Liriano, who I notice move on the rubber from hitter to hitter. Left-handers, right-handers, they move on the rubber. So that's something I'm considering doing myself.
1-2, runner goes with the Rockies putting on a hit and run, and Gonzalez flips it foul.
Well, that's one thing I'm sure you already know, Joe. You know, over the years that I pitched, every year was a new adjustment. Sometimes every game was a new adjustment. You had to adjust to the stuff that you're given that particular day or that spring training going into a season. That's how you're able to stay in the big leagues a long time if you do not make the adjustment.
Absolutely. You know, that's one thing that is so hard up here and hard to stay at this level is when that league adjusts, are you able to adjust back?
A fair ball into the right field corner. Barmes around second, on his way to third. He's being waved in. Gonzalez going around second, on his way to third. And he is saved. He almost overslid third base, but he's in with an RBI triple. And it's 2-0 Colorado. And you get a chance to see one of the tools Gonzalez had, and that's pretty good speed.
Well, take a look at this breaking ball right here. Sure looks like that's an off-speed pitch. And again, not a bad pitch. You have to credit the hitter, but Gonzalez hitting it down that line. And it takes a while for Kadire to get that ball over to Bag, but over sliding and then getting that hand back on the bag quickly. So Gonzalez with his 4th triple of the year, driving in his 42nd run.
Infield in.
Not bad as a leadoff hitter with 42 runs driven in.
Helton at the plate, bounced to second his first time up, and he fouls it off of Mauer, 1 strike.
So that walk of Pavano, I mean, that's a rare walk too. That was only his 14th walk of the year, ends up scoring.
They don't always haunt, but when they come to a number 9 hitter, it seems like they always do. They always come back and sting you.
What's the percentage of walks that score? It's somewhere.
Gene Mock told me 70% of all walks seem to always
very high
score
percentage.
for some
That's
reason.
why the one thing they preach here is throw strikes and let your defense work.
1 strike to Helton. Now a pop-up. Retreating is Punto. And he makes a catch and a pretty big out there, out number 2. What fans might not realize, Joe, is when you made the transition from position player to pitcher, up until your last year with the Giants, 2003, you were used almost exclusively as a starting pitcher.
That's correct, yeah. I enjoyed it. I had a ton of fun starting, and it was something that, especially in the National League, we got to hit quite a bit, so it was something I definitely had fun with and enjoyed out there. So, definitely a different aspect of the game, though. I mean, you get to see, guys 3 or 4 times through the lineup, and like Bert said, you have to make adjustments throughout a ball game. For me now, I think it's making adjustments, throughout the course of weeks, and maybe seeing a team later on, maybe the following month, you got to make an adjustment and kind of remember what you threw a guy a month ago, where as opposed to starting, you just got to remember what happened the last at bat. What did I do against this guy the last at bat? Closing now, you got to remember what you did the last at bat, which may have been a full year ago, and that's what video is so helpful with now for hitters and pitchers. You can go back to at bats that happened last year or 2 years ago.
High fly, short
Come
right
on,
center
Joe,
field.
the only reason you wanted to start is you had 4 days off. That was awesome.
That was definitely
Somebody tell Kadire that's 3 outs.
Another run for the Rocks, and it's 2-0. standing in the box. And he takes low, ball one. Rachel Martinson from Grand Rapids wondering how the music is picked inside the ballpark that players use when they come to the plate, or for closers when they come in out of the bullpen.
It's a great question. Most players will have a song in mind and something they enjoy to come up to and get excited about going into the box or coming out from the bullpen. Just something that gets them focused and gets them excited to go out to the mound. But sometimes they don't have a song, and the man upstairs will pick a song for them. But I think for the most part, our team picks their own songs, and I think we have a pretty wide variety of music that comes out. Some country, some rock. I think even Kadir has some techno that he comes up to. So I don't know where that came from, but
your song was.
My song is Stand Up and Shout from the movie Rockstar. If any of you have seen that with Mark Wahlberg, something that I thought would sound pretty good when I came in. So I thought the fans would enjoy it.
Outside 3-2 now.
Do you hear it coming in, Joe? Is that something that you?
Yeah, it's definitely something that you definitely hear the beat once you're coming in, and something that, for me just gets me fired up a little more. Not that I need any help coming into that position, but songs do help. Single out there to right field for Pinto.
Third Twins hit, first leadoff hit for the Twins, and they'll turn the lineup over with Span coming up and a man aboard.
Well, good hitting right here. I mean, we've seen some balls down in the strike zone get hit pretty hard here so far. Nick Punto got that ball down and lined it into right field.
What's to keep when you're a visitor? And the reason I ask about this is when we went to Chicago first time last year, and the White Sox, when Joe Creedy came up, had air supply or something like that. I'm all out of love or something like that. What's to keep a visiting when you're a visiting player, the home team, from playing a really awful song when you come into the game?
I'm surprised they haven't done more of that, to tell you the truth. I think maybe more in minor league ballparks you might see that when a guy comes up, they'll probably play something, who knows,
corny.
Something corny when they're coming up, just to get them feeling uncomfortable or to get the crowd into it, get them laughing. So I'm not sure why they don't do that.
Span with a 1-0 count. Bouncer toward the left side. Tulowitzki to second, out there. Relay to first. Not in time.
And again,
stays out of a double play.
There's Selton again trying to get away with pulling the bag a little bit early.
Oh, great turn up the middle right here. Tulowitzki over to Varmus, and then the speed of Span kind of beat this out, but great turn. And Varmus right there, his throw over, and Helton again trying to help the umpire make that call.
There's been one fly ball out and Punto's line drive single. Everything else has been beaten right into the ground against Aaron Cook. Here's Tolbert, who walked his first time up.
And that was about as fast as you could turn it right there. It came in on it. Very nice feed.
Tolbert walked and was doubled up on a ground ball by Maurer. Close. Span spun his wheels trying to get back to the bag.
Span just getting that hand back in the back of the first base bag. Span with 13 stolen bases and 14 attempts. Now Cook at his last start in Colorado against the Astros, he got 16 ground ball outs in 7 innings. Ended up with a no decision. So definitely a ground ball pitcher. And Cook trying to keep Span close to first base.
Tolbert looks at it, pulls the bat back, and it's 1-0.
Cook, 31 years old, signed by the Rockies back in 1997, their number 2 pick.
See if they try and put something on here during this at bat.
And Span checked again at first.
Some good speed at first base. Guy that can handle the bat a little bit, put the bat on the ball. Especially with a man like Mauer on deck, try and get a man in scoring position.
And Tolbert waves at it and looked immediately at first base like he thought Span was going to be taking off.
Absolutely. Looks like somebody here missed a sign. Not sure if it was.
It was in that Atlanta series, I believe. Span missed a hit and run sign.
But
that swing right there might have said it was a hit and run put on.
Absolutely.
So 1-1 now to Tolbert. And outside 2-1. And Olivo and Cook will have a chat. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven joined tonight by all-star closer Joe Nathan, of course unable to pitch this year with the Tommy John surgery in March, and has every intention of being there in spring training. There's John Roush, who quite ably, I think, has filled in for Mr. Nathan, leading the league in saves.
Done an outstanding job so far. I think, for him, he knows what type of pitcher he is. He always says he's a contact pitcher, and the one thing that he's done such a good job is not walking anybody.
Another ground ball and another Rockies double play. The Twins have hit into 2 of them in the first 3 innings against Aaron Cook.
It's extremely special. I'm extremely honored to be in that category. Nonetheless, be awarded that honor. It means a lot to me to spend my whole career here thus far, and hopefully we'll continue to play in a Twins uniform and represent the city and this organization.
Now, Joe Nathan, you've spent a number of years as Michael's teammate. How impressive is it to really play with this guy on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, just as, he's one of the workers. He comes out here, blue-collar worker. You watch him play. Just watch him play the game. Even when he pops one up, watch him run down the first base line. Definitely one of those guys plays Twins baseball, and they teach you, play hard and go until that last out in the 9th inning. And he's one of those guys that definitely represents the Twins uniform very well.
Joe, he's not only one of these guys with great numbers right there, but you know what? He's one of those guys that gives so much back to the community, too.
Absolutely. You always hear about him doing great things, not on the field, but you know, what he does off the field is so impressive. And I think, you know, he's one of those, you know, great role models for the kids around here, and you know, for everybody to look up to and follow this guy. And like I said, watch him play baseball, because that's how you youngsters should go about your business when you're playing Little League. Have fun, but at the same time, you want to go out there and play hard and play to win.
One gone in the fourth. Spilborg's a hitter. He hit a ground ball to third baseman Danny Valencia his first time up. Now a ground ball to short. Punto to his left, scoops it up and fires. 2 down. Grand Casino story of the game, and a couple of extra base hits leading to 2 Colorado runs.
Yeah, Troy Tulowitzki, a home run with 2 outs in the first inning, giving the Colorado Rockies a 1-0 lead. And then Carlos Gonzalez, an RBI triple in the third. And Cook so far has been able to get a couple ground ball double plays turned behind him.
Here's Seth Smith. We were talking about Michael Kadire and his community work. His signature event is a celebrity waiter event in the middle of August this year at the Capitol Grill. Now, you've served as a celebrity waiter in the past. Anything about your elbow injury that's going to keep you from serving that night?
I don't think so. You know, having done that a couple times before, I think I'll be there for that one. It's definitely something we enjoy to do. Anytime we get a chance to step out of our element and get a little uncomfortable, I think we enjoy that. So, you know, as I'm doing tonight, right now, it's something, stepping away from my comfort zone and getting a chance to do something new. So, you know, we enjoy having, you know, moments like that, and that'll be another great chance for us to get out there and do some work and hopefully help Michael out and his event.
Michael's event raising money for the Boys and Girls Club. 3-1 now to Seth Smith, who hit a fly ball to Kadire his first time up.
I was in Fairfax last night for Kirk Sampson's birthday bash, 77 years old, and there were about 2,000 people there. Had a great turnout, and all that money went to the amateur baseball leagues around the area.
Dillman Young with a nice running catch on the track, and Pavano has a 1-2-3 fourth. A good catch by Young ends the fourth. We'll see if the Twins can get something started in their half. And vote for the Twins' top memorable moment you'd like to see replayed here on Fox Sports North. The choices are Kent Hrbek's grand slam in Game 6 of the 1987 World Series, or Kirby Puckett's walk-off in Game 6 of the 91 series.
Well, can you pick both? My goodness.
We'll give you the winner in Thursday's postgame. I've always felt that as important as Hrbek's grand slam was in Game 6, that might not have been the most important home run hit in that game, because the Twins looked for a while as if they were going to be eliminated in 6 games. Here's Mauer slashing one to center field, and Mauer's aboard. And tonight's Farmers Insurance true story, we go back to the 1987 World Series, and Don Baylor hit his only home run in a Twins uniform, a 2-run homer in the 5th inning of Game 6. Twins were trailing 5-3. They were facing elimination. Baylor's blast tied the score. Herbeck later hit the grand slam. They went on to win Game 6 and I think Game 7, as I recall.
That's why we brought him in '87 to get that home run. What a great guy right there, Don Baylor.
Down and away, ball 1 to Morneau. Twins trying to parlay Mauer's leadoff hit here in the 4th into a run or 2 or more.
Well, Cook's been able to get some ground ball outs. 6 ground ball outs so far. Created a couple double plays behind him. See if Just can get this airborne a little bit.
Lincoln Mercury key stat. Morneau and some pretty good company for interleague runs batted in over the last 3.5 seasons. 2-0 to Morneau. And a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, we've always seemed to kind of step on the pedal a little bit when we get to interleague play, and you know, Morneau is one of those huge reasons why. You know, he's always seemed to step up against these National League teams and kind of spark a little fire for us and get things going.
Missing 3-1.
See, that's a good take right there, because that's a ball right there. If Justin maybe swings that, might be another ground ball. So a very good take to work that count in his favor.
Very smart hitter. I think that's one of the things he's grown into. Such a professional hitter now. Very dangerous hitter, obviously, but you know, seeing takes like that and taking his walks when he can, that's a sign of a true big league hitter.
I think it's too, Joe, of just realizing that, you know what, they're going to kind of pitch around me. They're not going to let me hit a 2-run home run. So if I take the walk, I have to be dependent on the next guy and having faith that Michael Kadire or Jason Kubel or Delman Young can drive into runs.
And I think that's the one thing. He's definitely gotten more and more trust in these guys behind him to do the damage, especially when you got nobody out now, 2 guys on. That's usually when we, you know, can put a crooked number on the board and you know, do some damage against the pitchers and get their pitch count up and get into their bullpen.
Kadire, an infield hit his first time up. Cook, of course, hoping for another ground ball double play. He's already gotten 2 of them. Down and away, ball 1.
Well, one thing Cook did have trouble with coming into this start, 30 walks in 70 innings pitched with 31 strikeouts, and he's walked 2 already here tonight with no strikeouts. Falling behind on Kadire.
2-0, and Olivo blocks it in front of him. 2-0 to Kadire, with the Twins threatening here in the 4th inning. Twins announced yesterday that they have already sold their 3 millionth ticket this season. And another sellout crowd, part of that, what will be record-breaking attendance figure here tonight.
Again, the first time the Twins had over 3 million people back in 1988 after we won the series in '87.
That hits the bag and skips down the line. Mauer's going to score. Morneau to third. He'll be held, and the Twins catch a break because it looked like Stewart might have been able to at least knock that ball down.
Well, Kadire pulling this pitch right here, and it kind of hugged the line, and right near the bag, it looked like it skipped on the bag. Take a look right here. Yeah, right there. A break for the Twins, Joe.
Right off the back part of the base. Nothing he could do. Yeah, it looked like even if he did knock it down, I think the most he would have been able to do is maybe get the lead runner there.
Well, the tying run at third, still nobody out. Kubel at the plate.
Kadire picking up his second hit of the ball game, driving in his 31st run. And it's a 2-1 ball game.
Pulled to the first baseman. Helton comes home, and Morneau is out at the plate. From deep first base, Helton came home, and he gets Morneau. And Kadire advances to third, one away.
Very impressive play.
Very, very good play. What makes this play is the way that he charged this ball. He didn't stay back. He came in on that ball right there. His momentum allowed him to make the throw to Olivo, and then Olivo making the tag of Justin for the out at home. A lot of first basemen you'll see stay back and say, okay, I'll get the out as a run scores, but Helton right there showing off why he's won 3 rolling gold gloves at first base.
And now a very important bat for Delman Young. He singled his last time up. The tying run at third again, but Rockies not only got the out, they have another double play set up if Cook gets Young to hit it on the ground at somebody. And what I think we've seen, Bert and Joe too, from Young, maybe more awareness in situations like this. He was in this exact same situation the other night coming off the bench, and he got the ball airborne. And we'll hope that he can do that again here and at least get this game tied up.
I think that all comes with, being a lot more patient. I think, he's definitely taking pitches that pitchers are trying to get him to swing at early in the at-bat, and gets himself into good counts and good situations for them to elevate the ball a little bit.
And a foul flipped over the Twins dugout, 1-1.
Oh, it's even on that swing right there. You can almost see that uppercut swing. Like, I just want to hit, if worse, I'm going to hit a fly ball, a sacrifice deep enough to tie the game. As pitchers, you go through ups and downs. As hitters, we saw Jason Kubel struggling for a while. Now he's swinging a bat better. Delman Young's in a good zone right now. He sure seems to be.
Very good group. Obviously came in great shape, and, he's got to be feeling good about himself right now.
1-1 to Young. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
And as we say that, Cook throws a nasty pitch.
Yeah, it looked like a nasty slider right there.
Well, the Twins have gotten one back here, and now want to get Kadire in and at least get this game tied up in the fourth.
Watch Olivo move. I love watching the catcher move from up here. Now he's going inside, maybe with that sinker, to get that ground ball out. It's where you work both parts of the plate, away with that slider, and then Olivo sitting inside, and let's try to run that sinker in. And Delman fouled it off.
Fox Tracks brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. Buckle up and get home safely.
That's pitching right there. Cook, this is his 9th season with the Colorado Rockies. He's learned how to pitch.
Let's see if he goes back in there. I think he almost wanted it even better than that one. Let's see if he tries and goes. Nope. Looks like they're setting up out there.
Ooh.
And he left it inside.
Olivo wanted it away, and he almost hung it over the inside corner.
We'd like to throw every pitch where the catcher wants it, but it doesn't happen all the time.
2-2 now to Delman Young. Base hit to left. Young comes through again, and the game is tied. RBI number 41, and it's 2 apiece.
Well, Joe, I think what we saw from Aaron Cook is he made a nasty slider down and away, and then the last couple pitches where Olivo wanted it, it wasn't near it.
That's looks like 2 pitches. He tried to get outer half, left it on the inner half where people can usually handle it pretty well, and Delman did a great job, though, battling that at bat, taking some tough pitches, and then getting one to put in the outfield grass.
And he continues to swing a hot bat. He's in that zone, and as a hitter, I'm sure that's that doesn't come around too often. You want to stay in there as long as you can.
Here is Valencia again with a couple of men on base. Valencia hitting decent average at 276. Seems like more often than not the Twins have put men on base for him. He just hasn't knocked in that first run yet.
Sometimes too that you put a little added pressure on yourself in situations like this. Sometimes you try a little too hard.
That's why, just to get that first one out of the way, so he can put one in the column, Well, the inning started with a Mauer single, Morneau walk, Kadire doubled, Young with a single. Twins have tied it up and a chance to take a lead here with the rookie Valencia at the plate. Sharply hit through the hole. Coble will be held at third, so no RBI, but a hit to fill the bases with one away. So again, the curse of being a sinker baller. Cook has gotten ground balls from the last two batters, and instead of being at an infielder, he's given up 2 hits.
Well, again, you see Olivo sitting away on that ball pretty much right down the middle of the plate, but down in the strike zone, and Valencia finds that hole between third and short.
There it is, showing the young guys that know how to handle that low pitch.
You know, what's a pitching coach tell you guys? Now, here's Cook, who's pitching to his game. He's getting ground balls. Even the double off the bag that hit the bag was hit on the ground on a couple of hops. It's just in this particular inning, the ground balls are finding holes.
Not much he can say. Bob Apodaca right there, the pitching coach for the Colorado Rockies. A quick trip to the mound, but, you know, hey, stay down in the zone and hopefully they'll hit it at somebody.
Usually with the sinker ballers, that's, you know, sometimes they're just going to not have the atom balls. They're not going to have balls go right at guys. They got to stick with their game plan and keep getting ground balls and hope they're going to find somebody at some point.
Punto, ground ball up the middle, base hit. Kubel scores. Young coming around. Throw going to third base. And Punto with a pair of hits. And now in the fourth, a pair of RBIs.
I think they're what we've seen the Twins in this inning jumping on that fastball. You know, he hasn't been able to get that slider over, so the Twins are looking for something dead red, more or less. And Punto getting a ball, hitting it right up the middle. And just like that, Nick Punto happy at that with the 2 runs driven in, now with 15 on the year.
And now Span, who is 0 for 2. And 2 ground balls off the bat of Span.
That's a good point about not getting the breaking ball over, because with sinker balls, it's almost like when you can look for a fastball, he almost becomes kind of like that knuckleball guy where you see it high, let it fly, see it low, let it go. So, you know, right now they're zoning in on it.
Well, there's a breaking ball right there that he missed, you know, down in the strike zone. Like Franklin Morales starting to warm up.
Like everybody else the Twins play these days, 3 left-handed relievers for the Colorado Rockies. You know, we saw this, of course, when Carlos Silva was on the mound in his heyday. He would have stretches where he would get ground balls hit at people. He had a 74-pitch complete game against Milwaukee because the ground balls were hit at people. There's a ground ball right side. That'll bleed through. Valencia scores. On his way to third is Punto, and another ground ball single. The Twins have 6 hits, and so far 5 runs in the fourth.
And has any hit been hit the outfield grass first? It seems like it's all through the infield. Span picking up an RBI, his 23rd of the year. And the Twins put a very good crooked number on the board with 5 so far here in the fourth inning.
I think this is true. The Twins have 9 hits, and the only one that has done what you asked was Punto's first hit to right field. Everything else has been beaten through the infield. Here's Tolbert. Anyway, we were talking about Silva, and you know he would at times be a very good pitcher. The game that comes to mind is his playoff start against the Yankees at the Dome, and the numbers were ugly, but all they were a series of ground balls that, as Cook could attest, found holes.
And that's a lot of times you really can't pay attention to results all the time. You know, you got to go out there and say, you know, I threw my game. I got ground balls. You know, you know, today they found holes. Other days they're going to be at people. So, you know, a lot of times you can't outthink and try to make too many adjustments for something you're trying to do out there.
This game will drive you crazy. How many times do you leave a ball right down the middle of the plate and hit a line drive at somebody where they should have probably hit a little bit better than they did? But, you know, so far this inning, the Twins have just been hitting the ball where the infielders have not been.
And going back to that, where we need the bottom of the order to produce also. You know, these guys have been great. You know, today I think 5 for 6 with 3 RBIs this inning.
You're keeping score. I like it.
Trying.
The only out recorded came on the ground ball to Helton, and he threw home to get Morneau at the plate. And it looked for all the world like another big inning for the Twins would slip through their fingers. But instead, since then, 4 ground ball hits. 2-0 to Tolbert. 3-0 with Mauer on deck. Tolbert, the 9th man to bat here in the 4th.
And as a pitcher, sometimes when they're hitting the ball through the holes, you try to say, okay, I'm going to try to make that extra pitch, put a little extra on it. Now Cook, who's thrown 25 pitches this inning, finds himself down 3-0 to Matt Tolbert with Joe Mauer on deck.
And these are those situations I was talking about where I could try to learn something, being out of the game. Where right now he probably is trying to make that extra perfect pitch where, I'm sitting here going, just try and continue to do what you're doing. You're going to get, continue to get ground balls.
Tolbert walks for the 2nd time. And they're loaded up for Mauer. And that'll be the end of the night for Aaron Cook, who will be winless in his last 11 road starts. And it all blew up in his face here in the 4th. Ground ball after ground ball, but they found holes, and the Rockies will go to their bullpen early. It's been a bullpen that's been very, very good.
It really is second in the National League as far as lowest ERA out of that bullpen. And the first one out is Franklin Morales. He was just activated from the disabled list on June 2nd on a DL with left shoulder inflammation, making his 18th relief appearance. Morales with a good fastball, a hard curveball, and a changeup. And Cook just looking, saying, boy,
I want to go home.
No, ground balls, that's the type of pitcher he is. And those Twins just able to find that hole in the infield.
And the Rockies will go home. They've had a long homestand this little 3-game series, and they go back home again. It'll be Mauer's second at bat of the inning. This so far 5-run inning started with a Mauer single that was a line drive to center. His was the other hit, other than Punto's, that hit the outfield grass first. So the middle of the Twins lineup, Dua. And Mauer up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Breaking ball down and away, and Olivo digs it out.
Yeah, that outing right there by Aaron Cook, the shortest outing so far this year. 3 1/3 innings.
One and 0 to Mauer. And a fastball that clips the corner, 94 miles per hour. And Mauer leaned back a little bit.
Morales in his 4th season with the Rockies, just challenging Joe Mauer right there. Joe taking a pitch. Well, it doesn't matter who's out on that mound. Joe Mauer is going to put up great numbers.
Up the middle, backhanded, flip to the shortstop, and a double play. So the double play comes, but not with Cook on the mound. It's Jimenez who gets the Rockies off the field after the Twins score 5 times. Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the Thirst Inning. Let's check out the crowd through the Thirst Inning fan cam and see who's enjoying the game. Budweiser, it's what we do. Twins caught a break in the middle of that 4th inning with the double that hit the bag. Joe Nathan, Robbie Smikowski, Bert Blylev, and Dick Kramer with Carl Pavano now on the mound pitching with a 3-run lead. And this inning, there are certain innings that are important. It's very important for Carl Pavano to do what he did in 2 of the 4 innings so far. Put a 0 on the board. Get your boys back on the bench, so hopefully they can add to this score. Pitching to the bottom 3rd of the Colorado lineup, starting with Miguel Olivo. Ball 1. Seems like it's been a half hour since Pavano was out there on the mound. Well, good pitch count for Pavano with 52 pitches. 31 have been strikes. Way out in front. 1-1. Olivo in his first season with the Rockies, last couple years with the Kansas City Royals. High fastball and a swing and a miss. Good pitch right there. Olivo with good power. He's a good hitter, good thrower. Royals were concerned with the high number of pass balls that he allowed last year. And an off-speed pitch, and Pavano puts Olivo away on 4 pitches. And strikeout number 3 in the ball game for Carl Pavano. And before, Pavano, good off-speed pitch right there. And you can see Carl Pavano in the first 4 innings so far this year, how he has been, and then he gets stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, you see against that last guy, he threw a great fastball up and in on him. I think that really set up the whole at bat. He really could have picked his poison with his next pitch. He went with a changeup away, but he could have thrown just about anything.
Ian Stewart takes up high, ball 1. Stewart with a fly ball to left his first time up. Pavano set down 6 men in a row since Gonzalez's RBI triple made it a 2-0 game. 2-0. Tigers have a 7-4 lead on the Nationals, and the White Sox have a 5-4 lead on the Pirates. Swing and a miss.
Would you call Carl Pavano sneaky fast because of that changeup? I mean, that fastball right there, I mean, threw a good fastball to Olivo to get that strike that you talked about. But right there, you know, as a hitter, sometimes you start looking off speed, and then all of a sudden here comes that fastball.
Absolutely. He's so fluid, too. Big body out there, but he keeps everything kind of slow and fluid. And I think that, is part of his deception, too, is, how everything looks like it's going to be slow at you, and then, throws a changeup and then comes back with a heater, and it probably looks like it's 100 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. From up here, it looks like Stewart's been late on the last 2 fastballs. And now another one on the inside corner, and he's gone on 5 pitches.
And excellent control for Pavano again. He doesn't walk a lot of guys, and when he's on and he gets stronger as the game goes on, you can see Stewart on top of that plate. Kind of puts those arms up like that ball's inside, but it hits the inner half of the plate. So strikeout number 4 for Pavano.
I'll lay to either one of you even money that Barmes does not draw another walk from Carl Pavano. Anybody want that?
I'm going to stay away from that one.
It was Barmes drawing a 4-pitch walk with 1 out in the 3rd, and then Gonzalez cracked his triple into the corner, and the Rockies had a 2-0 lead. Pavano, who's so stingy in giving up walks. And you were talking about the high percentage of walks that score, especially it seems when a 9th place hitter walks, it always comes back to hurt the pitcher. Here's a drive deep down the left field line. Delman Young chasing it, and Young slides on the warning track. And on an 0-2 pitch, Barmes keeps the inning alive with a double. So good effort by Young, and he got in the vicinity and ended up sliding to a stop on the warning track.
Well, even though Pavano was ahead in the count, sometimes you try to come in and you just, you make a pitch that's up. And a good effort right there by Young, like you mentioned.
I think he might have been trying to go up in the zone, maybe a little higher than he got it. But, I think he was making a conscious effort to try and get it on his hands a little bit more and set something else up for a next pitch.
Well, here's Gonzalez. He went down swinging in the 1st and then whistled a double into the corner to drive in a run.
I think that happens when you get into a groove where you're throwing so many strikes. He just had 2 strikeouts previously where he got into a groove where he's throwing strike after strike. Sometimes you feel like you get a guy out with 3 pitches as opposed to setting him up for a 4th.
Well, Joe, a lot of times viewers at home too, they say, boy, how can you throw that pitch? 0-2, you're ahead in the count, but that's not the way that you're thinking out there. You're thinking, I'm going to bust this guy hard in, and then you leave it out over the plate, and boom, a double.
2-0 now to Gonzalez.
And they are pretty good hitters down there.
Yes, they are.
That's deep to center. Span is back. And he makes the catch. A line drive to center and ends the inning. A shutout inning for Pavano. And he's still got the 3-run lead.
how cool is this now? Here's what's cool about Pavano's Stash Posse. They got, 3 guys, but they also have this young lady right here. And I've never seen a mustache fit so perfectly on a girl as this one fits right here. It looks so realistic. And here's what's funny about it is they have extra mustaches. And Joe, Bert, and Dick, you guys could join the Pavano Mustache Posse as well. And they have a couple I can bring up to the booth. What do you think?
Hey, Robbie, I've seen some of the girls that you date, and I swear she looks a lot like that.
Yes, thank you. Perfect for TV, Bert. Thanks.
Morneau takes down and away. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that's one of Robbie's dates. I'm expected to get hit any minute now. And when he comes up here, he's going to get me.
Morneau walked in the middle. Actually, it was at the start of that nice 5-run 4th inning. Foul back, and it's 1-2. And again, with Pavano looking for win number 7 here, and if he continues to pitch well with the mustache, maybe eventually the rest of the rotation will join him.
About the only one's probably Nick Blackburn. He could probably grow that in 2 days.
I don't even think. I think he could grow it over. I think he shaves and it comes back right away.
Well, the story goes in the early days of the Oakland dynasty in the early 70s that Charlie Finley paid money for players to grow facial hair, and that was the genesis of the handlebar mustache for Raleigh Fingers.
Right.
And others followed suit. Catfish Hunter. Good take by Morneau, and it's 2-2. So there was a bounty put on by the owner to grow facial hair at a time when most teams, including the Twins, had a policy against facial hair.
Well, that was Charlie's way of just promoting the game, and those players got extra money if they grew facial hair. I remember Paul Lindblad, who I pitched with in Texas, had the facial hair because of that.
2-2 to Morneau. Just off the plate. It's a full count.
We tried to do that with Jesse Crane one time to give him some money to grow hair on his head out for the year, and we actually ended up raising quite a bit of money from the team to have him do this.
Ooh. And Morneau on a pitch ends up close to his chin on a half swing. He's called out, 1 away.
Yeah, more of a defensive swing right here. Justin wanted to go, but you can see that fastball rolled right up and in on Justin.
So yeah, we tried to get him some money, and actually we did. And he grew it out until I think it was All-Star break, and it was probably the worst money we've ever spent because his hair just did not grow out. And
like a bad lawn, huh?
It was awful. It didn't look terrible when we thought it was going to look funnier than it did, and worst money we've ever spent.
Here's Kadire, a single in the second, then a big double off the third base bag, driving in a run in the 4th. He checks his swing, and it's 1-1. Twins with a 5-run 4th to open up a 3-run lead. And that's a called strike, 1-2.
Boy, Morales, one of those pitchers, he really throws everything at home plate. Young man, just 24 years old. At 6 foot tall, about 210.
And now 2-2. Foul over the on-deck circle.
Definitely hard throwing lefty. Anytime you see 96 on our stadium gun, it's coming in pretty good. Usually our stadiums maybe 1 or 2 slower than other stadiums out there. So you see those numbers coming up. He's definitely bringing it in.
Well, he has that follow through almost like Liriano a little bit, where he kind of recoils a little bit. But boy, it's all gone, and there he tries to change it and slowed everything up.
Full count to Kadire, trying to get something started here with 1 gone in the 5th. And bounced foul to Scotty Eldred.
Nice play by Scotty. Dallas right here. You can see the hard drive off of that pitching rubber. And a lot of that, you know, after the fact. That ball's already gone, and then he kind of turns his body. Same thing for Liriano, who we'll see here Thursday afternoon.
Check swing. They'll appeal, and it's ball 4. So Kadir to walk. And they'll bring up Jason Kubel. AT&T trivia tonight.
Jim Tracy,
who was the first Colorado manager to guide the Rockies to postseason play. Here's Kubel. Hit a fly ball to deep right center and then bounced into a fielder's choice.
And I believe he was mentioned earlier.
He was the very first manager. I don't know that he was the first one to lead them to postseason play. One strike to Kubel. And now a ball.
We have not mentioned Clint Hurdle, have we?
No.
I don't believe we have. He was a good man, though.
Yes, he was. And he still is today.
Foul. And it's 1-2.
Joe,
that was a hint for you.
We just throw names out there. That was a hint for me?
Yep.
And I don't know.
Because you said this was a good man. Or still is a good man. When we saw him on the monitor.
1-2 to Kubel. You know how liberal we count our correct answers. You know, if someone is mentioned.
So like Don Baylor, if we mention him, that's a good thing?
Then if you mention him, then that's usually going to be a good thing.
We also mentioned Clint Hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys can just basically throw a list out there, and if you mention it.
We find a page in a media guy that has all the managers, and then we just name them all. We have not been wrong yet, Joe.
Here's Kubel lifting one high and deep down the right field line. Gone! A home run! Number 9 for Kubel. And the Twins lead by 5.
And again, we just need to talk about hitting home runs down the line, and sure enough, they'll happen.
Well, you see that breaking ball kind of went in, and you mentioned that you were talking about Kubel right on top of the plate, and right down that line. So the Twins with a 7-2 lead, thanks to the 2-run home run by Jason Kubel.
And now here's Delman Young, riping one to left field. Off the base of the fence. Young has 3 hits tonight. And the average appears destined for the 300 mark.
Well, remember I said that inning was very important for Carl Pavano, the top of the 5th. Put a 0 on the board. Get the guys back in the dugout so they can do some more damage. Well, Kubel did a 2-run damage, and right there, a double by Delman Young, his 15th of the year.
And Pavano has seen the lead mount now to 5 runs. 1 out in the inning, and here's Valencia, who's singled to left. Young with 3 hits. Valencia has a hit. Punto has a couple of hits. A little bit low, ball 1. And that clips the corner. 1-1. The other left-handed relief pitchers for Colorado, Randy Flores and Joe Beimel. Breaking ball, and Valencia swings through it, 1-2.
Yeah, the Atlanta Braves were just in. They had 3 left-handers out of their bullpen, just like the Twins. And here the Rockies, the same thing. 3 left-handers, 4 right-handers.
Two and two.
Just looking at my home runs hit here by the Twins. Kubel hit one against Kansas City on June 8th. Then Delman Young hit one the next day. Then Kubel hit one the next day. Delman hit the last home run here against the Atlanta Braves. And now Kubel hits another one.
There's a drive down the left field line. Foul by a foot or two. Valencia nearly got that elusive first run batted in. And Valencia, from the time he made contact, was hoping it wouldn't hook, but it did. Foul by about a foot and a half.
So it looks like we'll see Delman hit one either later here tonight or
tomorrow.
Or sometime tomorrow.
In case you're wondering, the Rockies are wearing initials on their uniforms. KSM, as a memorial to the former president of the team, Kelly McGregor, who passed away just before the season started. And McGregor, the president of the team for a long time, and he has his uniform carried with him, or a uniform honoring him, hangs in the dugout at all the Rocky games. So we didn't want to get too far into our broadcast of this series without explaining why the KSM initials are on the uniforms. 2-2 to Valencia. And another foul back.
That young man right there got the little deflection back to him. Brought his glove. And Morales throwing a lot of pitches so far this inning. This will be pitch number 30.
2-2 to Valencia. And now a full count to him. And what the Twins want to see from Valencia, for lack of a better term, just professional at bats, and we're getting one here. He's taken pitches off the plate. He's fouled some 2-strike pitches off, and we'll see where this at bat leads. Another foul ball.
He's had some good swings in this at bat. Making Morales work. 9 pitches so far in this at bat.
Morales will try again on 3-2. And there's a professional plate appearance right there. He coaxed a walk. After all those pitches, he ends up at first base, and there's still only one out.
Yeah, second walk of the inning.
Bob Apodaca coming to the mound. Time for you to vote for the 2010 All-Star teams that will be playing in the Midsummer Classic in Anaheim. Vote for all the Twins and the rest of your favorite major leaguers online at twinsbaseball.com. Vote early, vote often, and help the Twins be well represented in the 2010 All-Star Game. Twinsbaseball.com, where Twins Baseball is always on. Joe, I know it's become an annual occurrence for you going to the All-Star Game. Fans can't vote on relief pitchers, but still, I would imagine to this point that's been one of the great thrills of your career.
Absolutely. You know, it's something that's a huge honor to represent your league, represent your team, and go out there and, you know, get a chance to, you know, play with some great players and see some former great players and just experience that whole thing is just, it's unbelievable to have the family out there and have them enjoy the moment with you. It's really special and something that, you know, to get a chance to sit back and you know, realize what you're being part of is it's really amazing.
You know, it just used to be just the All-Star Game. Now it's Fan Fest, and everything that surrounds it is just, it's a great weekend event.
They do such a good job of you know, putting together events that you know, make it exciting for the fans, and they have a great time.
Young's going to try to advance on the fly ball, and the ball gets away from him. The pitcher right where he should be. Morales backing that play up. So Young tags up on Punto's fly ball, 2 away.
Yeah, sometimes little plays like that. Now Delman Young, wanting to advance a base right here, and he's able to do that. But your responsibility as a pitcher to get back and back up that base in case something like this happens. A little short hop hitting Delman Young. And Morales right there in case that runner from first to second trying to advance.
And now Span will hit. Delman's going to need a little repair before tomorrow night's game. Got Delman, his uniform. Here's Span. We're going to run with a single in the 4th. Up and in, ball 1.
And it's going to be the same pair of pants, of course. He's not going to change anything up right now.
3 for 3 tonight.
Put a little tape on it and go play left field.
That's right.
Solidly to center. Span with a 2-out hit. Young will score. And the Twins get another run. And Span has a pair of hits tonight.
And driving in his second run of the ball game. We've seen Morales have a tough time getting, again, almost like Cook, getting a breaking ball over. So the Twins are sitting on that fastball, and they're taking advantage of a fastball that's pretty straight. It's hard, but pretty straight. So the Twins able to put up 5 in the bottom of the 4th, add 3 more here in the bottom of the 5th.
So Tolbert to the plate. He's walked a couple of times and bounced into a double play. Twins breaking loose here. We haven't seen a big game like this from the lineup for quite some time. 8 runs through 5 innings. A 5-run inning backed up by a 3-run inning. Hits and runs been harder to come by, in part because of who the Twins have faced. Fouled away, 2 strikes.
Well, this staff for the Colorado Rockies have been very solid. Combined 3.6 earned run average. That's 4th best in the National League.
And the Rockies readying another relief pitcher. Curve and Tolbert. Oh, nice play by Tulowitzki, and he puts an end to the inning. Kind of an awkward hop, but he played it well. 3 runs on 3 hits and a couple left, and it's 8-2 Twins.
Heating and Cooling Systems. I'm Kate Bilo. Rockies are in town taking on the Twins at Target Field again. Tomorrow coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. A much warmer day in Minneapolis, 80 degrees at first pitch with a full day of sunshine.
And the skies have cleared, and the Twins have broken through with 8 runs in the middle innings here to give Carl Pavano an 8-2 lead. 12 hits already for the Twins.
Well, good pitch count for Carl Pavano. 61 pitches, 45 have been strikes, 1 walk in a ball game, 4 strikeouts.
And the leadoff man here in the 6th, Todd Helton. Helton, for whatever reason, is really struggling against right-handed pitching. He's hitting just .252 and has driven in only 5 runs this year against righties. 1-1.
Helton grew up a Rod Carew fan himself.
He did.
He did.
That's deep to right. And Helton has lifted one into right field against a right-hander. Just his 2nd home run of the year, and it's a solo home run and an 8-3 ball game.
Yeah, I believe he stayed up and watched some Twibs, some This Week in Baseball to see highlights of him play, and which is I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear that out here, being in Minnesota. And
short, compact swing right here by Helton, and not only the Rod Carew type average in his career, a .328 hitter coming into this year, but a guy that can hit the ball out of the ballpark like that. That was his 327th career home run.
Yeah, one thing I always remember facing him, he always had the loudest grunt when he swung. And it was something I will always remember.
Tulowitzki had a solo home run in the 1st inning and then a fly ball to right. Competition's pretty stiff in the National League at shortstop, but Tulowitzki should go to Anaheim with a very good first half. Hanley Ramirez, top vote getter.
I think sometimes when you're in a small market like Colorado, you don't get the votes or the notoriety, but Tulowitzki's name, because of postseason experience and also, the numbers he's been able to put up, should be starting getting some more recognition.
Towering pop-up. The third baseman Valencia coming in to make the catch, 1 away. All right, let's see how well we did naming every manager in Colorado Rocky history.
We can start with Baylor, then Jim Leland, Buddy Bell, Clint Hurdle, and Jim Tracy.
I think it's Jim Leland.
I think it's Don Baylor.
Baylor was the first manager, 1995.
Yep. They went in as a wild card that year, 1995. Baylor,
the first manager for the Rockies, hired in that position by a former Twins executive who was the first general manager.
And that's actually on page 250 of
is that right?
Media Guide.
So you guys are still 100%.
Yes,
absolutely. Swing and a miss.
You notice how they give us a couple innings, too, to look it up, Joe.
Bob Gebhard was out of the Twins front office and got the job as a general manager and was in charge of putting the Rockies together and hired Don Baylor.
This is like rocks for jocks. It's one of those classes you get A's in all the time, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the rare instance where we...
hey, what is that?
In the rare instance where we don't get the answer right, what we try to do is fill in with a lot of extra trivial information that might somehow be related to the trivia answer.
Like they know each other.
Right. Giambi retired, 2 down. So 2 gone. And Spilborghs comes to the plate.
And Carl does. He gets in these grooves where the game looks so easy when he's out in these grooves right now, where he just seems like he's just out there playing catch and getting outs, and the game's cruising by. All of a sudden you look up and there's 2 outs.
And it's late in the ball game, too. And that's what he's been able to do. Again, Pavano making his 13th start, but in his first 12 starts, he's been able to pitch 7 or more innings in 9 of the 12 starts. And, in today's game, that's so important for the guys out in the bullpen. They almost say, hey, we've got kind of a day off here up until maybe the 8th or 9th inning.
Yeah, it's always nice to have. Always nice to have those starters that, you know, we felt that way kind of with Johan, and you know, every time he took the ball, you knew he was going to take it deep into the game, and we could kind of breathe easy down there in the pen.
They call them innings eaters, but they're good innings eaters.
And he just ate up the 6th inning after the leadoff home run by Helton. Pavano comes off the mound with a 5-run lead. Coors Light freeze can.
Well, we're going to go back to the 4th inning. The first run scored with the help of that third base bag. That ball skipping off the back end of the bag and going down that left field line, scoring Joe Mauer for the first run of the ball game. The Twins added 4 more in the bottom of the 4th to take a 5-2 lead. They added 3 more and now have a 8-3 lead over the Colorado Rockies.
The Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze can. Well, to the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Twins leading by 5, and they'll send up Mauer, Moreno, Kadair against left-hander number 2 for the Rockies.
Well, Randy Flores coming into the ballgame, making his 27th appearance, doing a good job. 3.55 in 12 2/3 innings. Kind of a guy that comes in once in a while to get that tough lefty out, but he's going to be asked to pitch an inning or two here. 12 2/3 innings, 8 strikeouts, 6 walks for Flores.
Joe Mauer with a single and a couple of ground ball double plays. One to the shortstop, one to the second baseman. And Mauer takes one at the belt, 1 strike. Dick Kramer, Bert Blyleven, joined by Joe Nathan here tonight.
Well, Flores with a fastball in the low 90s. He'll mix in a curveball, slider, and a changeup. He's in his 2nd season with the Rockies. Twins saw him a little bit when he was with the Rangers back in 2002. Flores actually in his 2nd stint with the Rockies. He was traded from the Rangers to the Rockies in 2002 and spent 5 seasons with the Cardinals in his 2nd season back with the Rockies.
And Mauer takes in the dirt, 2-1. Tigers beat the Nationals 7-4. Detroit starting today 2.5 games behind the Twins. Joe, I know you've been watching a lot of baseball. How would you assess the American League Central Division at this point?
Well, obviously right now this is definitely the best start the Twins have had, you know, up to this point to be going into interleague and be in first place. You know, we got to be feeling very good about that because this is usually the time we start playing good baseball. So confidence-wise, I think everybody in the clubhouse is feeling great about going into the second half of the season.
High fly to left center field. The left fielder lost it. Seth Smith gives way to the center fielder Gonzalez. In the twilight, it looked like Smith lost sight of the ball, And the center fielder Gonzalez with the catch, one away.
But looking around, we were able to put some space. Detroit and us have been able to put some space, between the other teams. So right now it looks like, it's pretty much a two-horse race. Chicago's on the outside looking in a little bit right now, but even with how good we have played here, we know we got to keep our foot on the pedal and keep playing good baseball with Detroit right behind us, because we know what we were able to accomplish last season, and we know if we slow down a little bit, these guys can do the same to us.
1-0 to Morneau, and he lashes one to left. Smith sees this one all the way to the warning track. He makes the catch out number 2. Well, a tough stretch for the Twins, and granted they've done well in interleague play. I don't know that they've had to face a sequence of really good pitchers like they apparently are going to have to face here. Zach Greinke, they've beaten. Tim Hudson, they've beaten in a low-scoring ball game. But Thursday they get Ubaldo Jimenez, Roy Halladay waiting for them in Philadelphia, and Johan Santana waiting for them in New York.
I always looked at that, that they have to face our guys too.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because with this game on Thursday and all the talk is about Ubaldo Jimenez. What's that remind you of?
Brad Radke and Kerry Wood in Chicago,
and then Liriano and Roger Clemens in Houston.
Right.
Our guy's been going pretty good too. So Thursday is really, I think, going to be a fascinating game to watch. Kadire pops out, and the Twins go down 1-2-3 in the 6th inning. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Quest High Speed Pitch brought to you by Quest High Speed Internet.
Aaron Cook, who had the shortest outing so far this year, got clocked as high as 91. Carl Pavano at 92.
And Pavano misses the outside corner. First pitch of the 7th inning, and it's his 80th pitch of the game.
Great pitcher.
Under the glove of Tolbert, and a base hit to right. So the leadoff man on in the 7th. Seth Smith singling, and Miguel Olivo will come to the plate. But first, let's learn a little bit more about Carl Pavano. The pregame meal, chicken and pasta. A paper route was his first job. I believe that was yours too, Bert, wasn't
it? Yes, it was, yeah. Nelly
on the MP3, huh?
And Don Mattingly. Who did we have the other day had Don Mattingly too? Was it Michael Kadire, was it? Everybody likes Don Mattingly.
Mattingly rumored to be the heir to the managerial job with the Dodgers when Joe Torre decides to give it up. Might be Torre's last year this year. 1-0 to Olivo. That's rifled to right field. Kadair fights the lights and wins. He charged the ball and then backed away because of the lights. 1 down.
We have not seen that too often here with a play like this where the outfielder kind of has to shade himself, and almost that ball brought him to his knees right there. Kadair fought those lights and able to get that ball in his glove.
Doing more on defense, brought to you by the Home Depot. One of the reasons we haven't seen that, the Twins, I think, very intelligently have 2 lights, 2 rows of lights, instead of these big light standards that have 100 bulbs, 10 across and 10 up and down. So the chances of a ball disappearing in the lights are so minimal, because there's a drive to center and Span makes the catch on another line drive out, 2 down. I mean, we shouldn't see much of that in this ballpark because of how the lighting has been designed.
Kind of like those lights that are over the scoreboard. I mean, that's what, 5 stands or 5 rows of multiple lights, but right there you see just the 2. You know, this game's funny, Joey. You look at those 2 last at bats right there. Olivo hitting the ball sharply, Stewart right on the line, and then you go back to the 4th inning where the Twins against Aaron Cook, where every ball wasn't hit extremely hard, but they found the hole.
Absolutely. That's a situation where sometimes you just can't look at results. You gotta go a little deeper, and Carl will take the outs. Don't get me wrong, he'll take those outs right now, but he'll go back and take a look at those at bats and maybe see what he could do a little differently to get it off the barrel of the bat.
And now make the adjustment right here to the 9th hitter, place hitter right here. Now you're going to make pitches sometimes that are right down the middle, and they're going to get hit hard, but you hope that they're at somebody. And the last 2 hitters able to hit the ball sharply off of Pavano, but right at Kadair out and right, and then a line drive right to Denard Span.
Pavano got Barmas into an 0-2 count his last time up, and then Barmas hooked one down the line for a double. And he reaches across the plate, kicks a foul.
And throughout the course of 162, like I said, you'll take outs however they come.
Yes.
Whether they hit hard or whether they break bats, no matter how, you take them.
Two strikes to the number 9 hitter. Pitch number 88 for Pavano. And another foul. Pavano will make his next start in Philadelphia against the Phillies, and he'll be asked to hit. Pavano, okay hitter. 2 strikes to Barmas. And another foul.
Well, he has a couple home runs in his career.
And Mr. Nathan has a couple home runs in his career, including one against the Rockies at Coors Field. Tell us about that.
I ran into one. I don't even know how it happened. Honestly, I hit it, and it went to right center, so I hit it, and I was sprinting around first to maybe get a double, and everybody's kind of looking at me as I'm sprinting around, and I'm looking at them like, what's going on? Why is nobody moving? And finally caught the umpire's attention, and he was giving me the signal, and I was as shocked as anybody. I think I almost fell when I walked into the dugout.
But that was your second major league home run. It came June 29th of 2000 at Coors Field against Masato Yoshi.
Yep.
Your first major league home run was against who?
Denny's Reyes.
Is that
teammate.
right?
That's right.
Forgot
That's
about
right. First day he walked in the clubhouse, he came up to me and said, "You could hit." So he remembered before I did.
Of course, you haven't had the opportunity as a Twin to pitch against hitters. Did you give up a home run to any pitcher that you remember?
I don't recall, so I hope that means I didn't, because usually I remember those.
Bouncer to third, scooped up And Valencia fires across, and Barmas retired by a half step. A leadoff single for Seth Smith, no damage done, and Jason Kubel will lead off the bottom of the 7th. Has been Arby's value player of the game tonight. Text the word value followed by a space. And the player's name to short code 234234.
Well, Carl Pavano getting kind of high fists right there. And Pavano looks like his night is done. Another very good outing. 5 starts in a row for Carl Pavano, where he's gone at least 7 innings. Delman Young 3 for 3 in a ball game.
Jason Kubel hits a liner right to the glove. Todd Helton, 1 away. Mountain Dew game summary so far.
Well, that 4th inning was a big inning for the Twins. A lot of ground balls, found holes off the bat of Kadire. Delman Young picking up an RBI single. Nick Punto driving in a couple runs with a base hit. Bernard Span another RBI. It's in a 5-run inning. And then we'll go to the 5th inning. Jason Kubel with a 2-run home run, his 9th home run of the year. And the Twins have an 8-3 lead.
Delman Young with 3 hits, and I think another hit will bring his season average to 300. You know, fans look at the numbers and they say, okay, Young is second on the team with 41 runs batted in. Batting average close to 300. He's hit 8 home runs. Why not move him in the order? But I think what Ron Gardenhire has done, and Joe, you tell me if this is off base, what he wants is, got jammed there, and a little bouncer to third. And Young is retired for the first time tonight. What Gardy wants, I think, is when Hudson and Hardy come back to not have too much disruption in the batting order. In other words, when, assuming Hudson comes back in the next couple of days, Hardy in a week or 2, whenever, he can put those guys back in their positions and only have to take out the players that were hitting in those positions.
Exactly. You know, you don't want to, just because a couple guys go down, you don't want to change the order completely around and then everybody's got to adjust and then adjust back when they come back. So it's kind of nice to just fill in with the guys that are coming off the bench and filling in for these guys to kind of keep everybody else where they are, to keep some kind of normalcy out there and keep guys comfortable. And, you know, it's nice when Delman's hitting like this down in the 7th hole. Like I said before, it just makes the lineup so much deeper and so much more intimidating for pitchers coming in.
Valencia with a single and a walk, and now another hit. So he's reached his last 3 times. And he will hesitate, and now the ball bobbled in right field. And Valencia should get a single. And then advancing to second on an error by Spilborghs. Valencia wasn't sure what to do, but he committed to staying at first until the bobble.
Well, good piece of hitting right here, taking that pitch the other way. You see him kind of lean into that ball to hit the right field. Spilborghs chase that ball. There's a lot of spin on that ball right there. It gets away from him. So Spilborghs will be charged with an error, his second of the year. And Valencia gets a base hit.
Punto with a pair of hits, a pair of runs batted in.
You know, I think, Joe, too, I mean, the way that Jason Kubel's year started, too, you know, you knew he was going to hit. And, you know, now all of a sudden you have Kubel and Young in the lower part of that lineup producing.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, having two more middle of the lineup guys down in the bottom part of the order, you know, righty and a lefty, you know, and this is just another headache for, you know, opposing managers to have to work around with their bullpen, you know, bringing lefties in and switching over to righties. And, you know, it just gives, you know, those opposing teams, you know, a little more to think about, you know, later in the game when you do get in the close games and you're working the bullpen. So it's definitely nice to have those two starting to swing the bats and come around the way they are.
2-1 to Punto. Rockies had a 2-0 lead. The Twins cut and slashed their way for 6 hits and 5 runs in the 4th. Kubel's 2-run home run, the highlight of a 3-run 5th. And now Punto trying to get Valencia in from second with 2 gone in the 7th. 3-1. Ron Gardenhire was asked before the game today, with Span hoping for a chance here in the 7th, why the Twins have committed a few more errors now than they did in the first 6 weeks. And his reply involved 2 names, Orlando Hudson and J.J. Hardy. With those players out, Punto has made some errors, not as a third baseman, but his errors have come at second and short, because he's had to fill the holes of the 2 regular players the Twins are trying to play without for a while.
You know, Joe, what's amazing, too, here we are in game number 64, and there's yet to be an error made by anybody at third base. Unbelievable.
That's unbelievable, yeah. Especially, you know, being at the hot corner. You know, you expect to see, you know, there's always those tough plays you have coming in, the bullets at them. You know, you expect to see, you know, a throwing error. It's such a long throw over there, especially the balls that, you know, are hugging the line. So, you know, we always preach defense and playing good defense, but to see what, you know, the guys at third base have done this year, and especially when you got a position that, you know, we fill in sometimes with a number of different players. It just shows how guys are coming off the bench and ready to play this game.
Well, a trip to the mound by Bob Apodaca. And Flores will try to get the final out here. Span has driven in a run with a base hit in his last 2 at-bats. Span, of course, got Sunday off and then the off day yesterday. And Twins hope that back-to-back off days will pick him up a little bit. And a pick off to second. Valencia, as the ball hit his spikes, and nobody will advance. So Olivo tried to take advantage of the rookie Valencia, and that ball hit him, I thought, in the spikes, but now he's bending over at behind second base.
Well, again, Olivo, a catcher that likes to, you know, use that arm, and maybe got the shin area of Valencia diving back into the bag. Got one of his shins. That'll slow him down.
High and tight, 2-0. So far, the National League has the edge in interleague play coming into play today. But marginally, 43 wins for the American League, 45 for the National League. Looks to be a pretty good night for the American League. Span skies one that'll reach the seats. White Sox have beaten Pittsburgh. Detroit's beaten Washington. Yankees beat Roy Halladay in Philadelphia. Texas has beaten Florida.
The only National League win on the board, the Mets beating Cleveland. Two and one to the Twins leadoff hitter, hitting 5th this inning. That's a fly ball to center, and Gonzalez over a few steps to end the inning. A hit, a walk, 2 men left on to the 8th, and it's still 8-3. Of course, he was jabbering away at the Atlanta Braves.
I honestly don't think he can go more than 5 seconds maybe in the daytime without talking. It's a good thing though. You got some energy on the bench, and you know we don't have Redmond this year, so we have Orlando on the bench for hopefully a short time.
I thought it significant when Roy Halladay was traded from Toronto to Philadelphia, and they were doing the post-mortem, I guess, on Halladay's career in Toronto, and he said he's going to miss the people there, and he singled out Orlando Hudson as being the best teammate he's ever had in Toronto. And Hudson at the time, I think, just signed with the Twins, and I think Hudson, as talkative as he is one of the more popular guys in the clubhouse.
Absolutely. You know, as loud as he is and talkative as he is a great guy, and you know, it really is a pleasure to talk to him. You definitely get some laughs, and you know, I think people have enjoyed, you know, having conversations with him, and you know, Frankie's definitely getting his ear talked off right now, but I'm sure he's enjoying the conversation.
I was going to say, does anybody ever respond to him, or is he just chirp?
I think for the most part, you just let him go.
Yeah.
You know, just say yes every once in a while and okay, and just let him work.
Well, you saw Brian Dunsing coming into the ballgame. Great 7 innings by Carl Pavano, 92 pitches, 61 for strikes. Pavano worked 7 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, a couple solo home runs with a walk and 5 strikeouts. Dunsing's done a great job, Joe, out of that bullpen. He's kind of been used so many different ways. As sometimes a long guy, sometimes a guy just to come in and hopefully get through the 8th inning.
Absolutely, he's been one of those, you know, pleasant surprises this year for Gardy and Rick Anderson to have out of that pen. You know, he's definitely stepped up. Last year, I think, gave him a lot of confidence pitching in big games, and he's been able to come in and pitch in late situations, pressure-packed situations, and be another option for them late in the games, and a left-hander, which is nice.
And a nasty breaking ball right there to Gonzalez. Put fastballs to get ahead in the count, and then dropped a nasty breaking ball down and away that Gonzalez swung through.
1 down. Todd Helton, the hitter. I want to get your reaction, each of you. And first I'm going to make a comment. To me, Dunsing is going to be one of the fascinating careers to watch, because where he's at, I think his career can go in either direction. You know, we saw Matt Guerrero kind of fill this, and now Guerrero is one of the best setup guys in baseball. I can see Dunsing pitching later in the ballgame in more critical situations. I also can see him moving into a starting rotation. Joe, to start with you, where do you think Dunsing eventually will settle?
That is honestly a very tough question, because now I've seen him do both, and he's done such a good job with both. You know, I think at first he'll probably answer and say, I'd like to get a chance to start again. But you know, at the same time, he's now going to have this role for a season. He may enjoy this. He may, you know, start to change his mind and enjoy being out in the pen and coming into these situations.
Drive to right field. Kadire is there. We'll get Bert's reaction to that in a second. But first, let's go to Robbie Makowski and Carl Pavano.
For the 6th consecutive home start, Carl Pavano goes 7 or more innings. Carl, what has been your key to success lately here at Target Field?
You know, I mean, it's no secret. It's our defense. I mean, you know, I'm averaging 4 or 5 strikeouts a game. I get the ball in play, and these guys make great plays. I mean, for a pitcher like me that pitches to contact, throws a lot of strikes, tries to keep a lot of people off the bases with base on balls. I mean, these guys keep me in the game.
You guys were talking about how much stronger you're getting as the game goes along. What in-game adjustments did you make tonight to get stronger?
You know, I just think trying to be a little more aggressive and get my tempo going. I mean, I've notoriously been like that. You know, years that I've been healthy. Right now, I mean, it's probably the best I've felt in 3 or 4 years. So I feel like I'm starting to get back to getting in the groove and getting. You know, I'm a little older now, but I feel like I still got a lot left in me.
Kubel got a breaking ball down and lined it into that right field bleacher area for his 9th home run of the year. A 2-run home run for Jason Kubel.
Twins have been out homer 2-1, but Kubel's home run came in the 5th with a man aboard, and now the Twins will hit in the 8th inning. Matt Tolbert will lead things off against a familiar name and face, Rafael Betancourt.
Yeah, Betancourt came over from the Cleveland Indians last year to the Colorado Rockies, making his 26th relief appearance. He's worked 21 in the 3rd innings. He's walked only 3, 1 intentional with 27 strikeouts. Now let's find out if maybe Bob Apodaca has really sped his delivery up a little bit, because this guy was like a human rain delay in Cleveland. He would take forever between pitches.
I haven't seen any change so far. The fidgeting You know what, though? We need to be careful here because we're sitting here tonight with a guy who fidgeted a little bit when he was out there on the mound, Mr. Nathan.
I have a ton of those little quirks that I don't even know I do, and here's a drive.
Tolbert sends one high and deep to right. Gone! A home run for Matt Tolbert. His first of the year, his first away from U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago.
And his first home run since September 22nd of last year. Jumping on that first fastball from Betancourt. And Orlando Hudson saying yes.
And O-Dog will probably take all the credit for that.
So a home run for Tolbert, and the Twins and Rockies have each hit 2 home runs.
Did they give him the silent treatment down there?
Tolbert's other 2 home runs have both come just over the fence and left at U.S. Cellular Field. In fact, one of them hit the top of the fence in Chicago.
I think they're giving him the silent treatment.
Just off the plate, and it's 1-1. How about, was it Daniel Nuva of the Red Sox? His major league debut, his first at bat, bases loaded, first pitch, and he hits it out at Fenway Park. Now that would have been a great time to give somebody the silent treatment.
That'd be a perfect time.
Bauer swings and misses, 1-2.
The other great one was in Atlanta. I don't know if you guys saw that, or it was a while back. It was a walk-off, and
they gave him the silent treatment on a walk-off.
They all left. There was nobody.
Oh, that's right.
There was nobody in the dugout. No, they were all underneath in the tunnel. And he was basically running around the bases, got to the plate by himself, and walked in the dugout.
Was that before or after Kendry Morales and the incident at home?
I think that was before.
Yep.
Bauer strikes out, a 1-for-5 night for him. If you've got tickets to tomorrow's game against the Rockies, make sure you come here early. The Long Haul Bombers and their softball power hitting prowess. They'll take the field here at 6:10 tomorrow. So come out early. And if you're in the outfield, bring a helmet and a glove. To check ticket availability for all games in 2010 at Target Field, call 800-33-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com. We were always interested when they would come to the Metrodome to see how close they would come to hitting one in the upper deck in left field. There's a high fly to right. And Spilborg makes the catch on the edge of the track. And let's go to Robbie and Smikowski.
Guys, what a great game for the Twins and a great night for that man, Matt Tolbert. We're going to break it all down on Quest Twins Live, featuring the Toyota postgame rep. We talked to Carl Pavano. We'll break down Carl Pavano's performance, 7 strong innings, and hopefully another victory here at Target Field for him. Pitchers fielding practice is our demo tonight. Bert and Joe, I'm sure you guys could attest to that, on how tough it is for pitchers to handle the fielding aspect of the position, plus reaction from that man, manager Ron Gardhart, all on Quest Twins Live. Guys?
Michael Cuddyer at the plate. Thank you, Robbie. I'll be interested tomorrow to see how many of the softball hitters can hit them up into the third deck.
They'll get it up there. Have you seen those softballs that they hit? Oh, they are like a rock. Plus those arms those guys have. They're huge.
Yeah, I haven't seen these guys hit before. There's definitely going to be a few in the third deck.
Swing and a miss by Cuddyer, and it's 0-2.
These guys might be trying to hit the scoreboard, actually.
Well, I saw Delman Young today. I saw Cuddyer do it a month or so ago in batting practice. Hit one up under the roof deck in foul territory down the left field line. There's a drive to right and a stumbling, sliding, awkward catch, but a good one by Spilborg. Bauer, Morneau, Cuddyer, all retired. The home run went to Matt Tolbert.
stop the World Series story.
The game reset, and the Twins taking charge of the game in the middle inning.
Well, Delman Young continuing to swing a hot bat. 3 for 4 here tonight, an 11-game hitting streak where he's driving in a lot of runs. Nick Punto, a good night at the plate, and Carl Pavano looking for win number 7 as the Twins have a 9-3 lead.
Jason Giambi will lead things off against Alex Burnett, who comes out of the Twins bullpen.
You know, Joe, we were talking about Brian Dunsing. How about this young man right here, only 22 years old, getting his feet wet at the major league level? He's done a great job.
Unbelievable. He's got great stuff. They were so big on him in spring, and you know what he's done in the minor leagues, and you know we heard about him coming in the spring, heard his name, and got a chance to see him a little bit in spring training, and he was in my group when we were working out, so really got a close look at him, and he's got, you know, great poise, good kid, very quiet, goes about his business, and obviously has electric stuff out there.
Like a rookie should.
Exactly.
Keep your mouth shut pretty much, and keep your ears open.
That's exactly it. That's what they teach you, and you know, he does a great job of coming in and just really, it looks like he's paying attention and trying to learn from other guys.
Wow, look at that breaking ball right there.
One down as Giambi's retired on 3 pitches. Spilborg's coming to the plate on an 0 for 3 night.
Well, he's charged with an error in the 7th inning, but last inning off the bat of Michael Kadire came in, made a nice sliding running catch. Maybe fighting the lights a little bit, but that ball had some sink on it right there off the bat of Kadire.
Swing and a miss. Hey, Bert, I want to back up, though, to Brian Dunsing, because Joe commented on where he thought he might go in his career in the coming years, and I wanted to get your thoughts, too.
Well, I think as long as the rotation stays healthy the way it has so far with the 5 guys, I think Brian Dunsing's going to be right where he's at. You know, a guy that is expected to, you know, maybe pitch 2 or 3 innings at a time, but also if he's not used a lot, get him out there for the 8th inning like he was used tonight. He's got a great arm, and he's got a great approach, I think, to the strike zone. He attacks the strike zone, and I think Rick Anderson likes that a lot.
Does he, in your mind, have starter stuff?
I think he has starter stuff. I don't think he can break into the rotation what the Twins have right now. Maybe in a year or 2, depending on, you know, what happens with Carl Pavano or whatever in the future.
2 quick outs here in the 9th, and here's Seth Smith, last hope for the Rocks. Boy, Burnett, everything he's throwing is cutting right over the strike zone, or through the strike zone.
There's not a lot of run in his 12 of his last 13 on appearances. Over 16 and 2/3 innings, he's allowed only 1 earned run. So he has been pitching outstanding, and that curveball right there is getting better and better, that 12-6 type break.
Lots of depth, late movement on it.
This is what you miss right here, isn't it, Joe?
Absolutely.
That right here. Crowd on its feet.
Just off the plate, 1 and 2, the first ball that Burnett has thrown.
You know what? We talk about the fans, and this is used, you know, it's a ball game, but this is an event now. This is like, you know, I mean, when these people get up right here, and you're out on that mound, Joe, no better feeling. There can't be.
Well, this is what helps me come in and work out every day.
There's a drive to right field. That's deep to right and hard off the limestone, and Smith holds up at first, and Kadire, who has had some problems with those caroms out there in right field, had that ball hit the brick wall or stone wall and come right back to him.
Well, you can see the pitch right here. Little, you know, breaking ball stayed up a little bit. It's a really tough wall out here. Cuddy played it absolutely perfect. Very smart that he held up here. I was just about to say, if he goes, he's out.
You know what I think, Joe? That's the second time I've seen a ball hit off that limestone. Billy Butler hit it of Kansas City, and Kadire threw him out at third. Remember that? And I think that's the second ball that has hit like that, a line drive off that limestone.
It's a tough wall out there for Cuddy to get used to. I don't know if experience is even going to help, because it's really, some balls are just impossible to play off of that with the angles going 2 different ways.
And they're going to come down on the field with it. for the instructional, I was told.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be down there.
Pitcher's fielding practice.
Pitcher's fielding practice. Your arm's sore, but your legs aren't. We're going to use you a lot. Yeah, I like it.
I could get some extra conditioning in for the day.
1-1 to Olivo, and a high foul fly down the right field line that'll drift back into the seats. Just one more point about the limestone extension out there in right field. I asked Michael about that about a week ago, and he said it's to the point, and maybe the Twins did this from day one, but now second basemen are instructed to go out in the outfield unless they have responsibility in the infield, like covering second base or on a cutoff. Go out and pursue the ball, because we've seen it come off hard almost all the way to the infield.
Absolutely. I think, on balls 2 right, Cuddy's arm is strong enough. He's going to throw it in near second base anyway. So for the second baseman, as opposed to being a cutoff right there, he's got to go out there and kind of help in case the carom is a little too difficult for Cuddy to handle.
I was talking to Glenn Allen Hill, the first base coach for the Colorado Rockies, and he said that's one thing that he told the second baseman for the Rockies to go out. So the word is out already.
1-2, and a check swing by Olivo evens the count. Twins trying to wrap up a series opening win against the Rockies. And Burnett trying to wrap things up with his 15th pitch. And Olivo hanging tough. 7 innings for Pavano, a clean 1-2 3/8 by Dunsing. And now Burnett trying to finish off the Rockies. Tigers and White Sox have both won already tonight. Got him. And Burnett pitches an impressive 9th inning. And the Twins impressively have won this opener 9-3. Couple of walks early in the ball game, and then Matt Tolbert with our Jimmy John's delivery of the game.
His 3rd career home run, Matt Tolbert hitting it into the flowers where all those fans just tore the flowers apart.
And our thanks to Joe Nathan for being up here in the booth. He'll be part of the instructional. And Anthony, the Twins, after giving up a couple of early runs, put together a nice 5-run inning to take control of the game.
We'll show you how Minnesota took advantage of Aaron Cook on the mound today. We'll show you how Carl Pavano was in complete command. Joe Nathan, Bert Blylev, and Ron Coomer on the field for a little PFP.